Welcome back to the No Fun Channel. I am Felix. I'm on number 93 because I've been thinking more about the podcast. She mentioned I'm also tired. Haven't even done anything except eat breakfast. But I'm not sleeping well. I had a bloody nose a couple nights ago, and I woke up to a bloody nose. I didn't even know it bled. And now every time a little wetness around my nose, I'm like, oh, am I bleeding again? I need to talk to my doctor about that because I've been having way too many frequent bloody nose. Anyways, the podcast, like I said, once I hit 100, I'm going to stop for a while. And I was thinking I may stop until next year, see how I feel. Or I may record videos, or I just won't post as often maybe. I don't know. But my goal is just to get to 100 right now. Then, cause I do like doing the Reddit stuff, and I'm thinking about, I want to do something else. So once I hit 100, I think I'll stop with the podcast for right now. Cause I did mention, I think it would be more fun to do, cause I do enjoy it for the most part, but I think I would enjoy it more if I had someone to play off of. And I've joked about, not having friends and wanting friends, but not wanting to have to do the friendship thing. Like I want a friend, but I don't want to have to be a friend, if that sounds crazy. And I was watching Abba preach, a guy who said he was a loser, and all the things he was talking about, I kind of understood, but on the other hand, it's all stuff he could fix. It's all stuff he could change, and you have to be willing to change those things. Like he was talking about, going droughts without seeing a woman or dating a woman. Talking about going 8-10 years. It's like, I've never gone 8-10 years. At least not I don't recall ever going that long. Now, unless you count school, in high school and all that, I didn't try. But once I was out of high school, yeah, it was, I'm not going to lie, it was easy. I think guys put too much pressure on themselves when trying to meet a woman. And a lot of guys will try to meet a woman who clearly wants nothing to do with them. Same for women too. Women do that too, where they'll try to meet a guy who wants nothing to do with them. Like you see the heavyset girl going after a fit guy and getting upset because he doesn't like dating fat girls. It's like, well, he dedicates his life to working out and he wants to be around other like-minded people. And the same for the fat guy going after the fit girl who doesn't want anything to do with him because she wants a fit guy for the same reason. It's like, well, yeah, she wants a fit guy. She wants someone who can keep up with her. Vice versa. Both fit people want someone who can keep up with them. Now, that's not to say all fit people. There are fit people who like chubby people. But overall, if you're a fit person and don't like being with an unfit person, you can be looked down upon. But it doesn't help there are fit people who will say negative things and just be outright mean about it too. But that aside, this guy, how about he's financially stable, he's short, and all this stuff. And I was like, that has nothing to do with why you don't have a girl. I always refer to 600 pounds. It seems like everyone on there has gotten someone or been with someone. And the women all have kids, it seems like. So there are people out there. I'm not saying you have to lower your standards or anything. I'm just saying there are people out there. It's been my experience. Most people are looking in the wrong place. Like I said, you're a guy that works at a supermarket trying to date a supermodel who's used to being wined and dined. That's not going to work out. And vice versa, a guy, a well-off guy who's used to dating girls he can just toss to the side, and you're looking for marriage, that's not going to work out. It's like you're thinking, oh, wow, I'm going to have it all. And next thing you know, he's off to the next girl. And you're like, well, what were you dating? He's like, nah, this is just fun. And same for the girl, those women that like to be winded out, they're doing the exact same thing. They're just there for the fun and they're moving on. And so, yeah, so it's really, you're looking in the wrong places. Stop looking for love in places that you don't belong, basically. Cause I've watched people try to force themselves into situations that they don't belong. And I don't mean like trying to fit in at a KKK rally as a black man. I'm talking about trying to fit in a area where you know nothing about, but you just see a bunch of pretty faces and you think, oh, I want to be part of that group, not realizing that they could actually be the KKK. So, yeah, you just gotta realize that not everyone's meant to fit into every situation. You need to find where you fit, and once you find where you fit, you will discover life can be pretty easy, can move pretty easy for you. The guy was into cryptocurrency. There's a lot of people into cryptocurrency. He could join groups, Discord groups, and so on and so forth. Maybe he did. I don't know. But I guarantee you, there are probably women in there who are into it just like him. He'd probably find a woman who's basically like him. Maybe he doesn't want to. And also, you don't necessarily want to date yourself. Most people don't. But I guarantee you, there are probably women. He could also be oblivious to women as well. Because I've gotten worse since I've been married because I don't need you. I got a wife. I don't cheat. I don't do any of that stuff. So it's possible that he's oblivious to the fact that there are women attracted to him. Men are actually more oblivious about that than women think, mainly because the man is the one who always has to approach. And women, I thought it was a joke, but I've seen women flirt, and oh my God, you guys are horrible. You guys are straight up horrible. But I know it's off topic from talking about the podcast, but this was just interesting to me. But yeah, women, you're horrible at flirting. Learn to flirt. But yeah, this guy, and he talks about he doesn't have friends, but the way he talked about it is not the same way I talked about it. I know why I don't have friends, because one, I don't go anywhere. Two, I'm not really sociable, and I want to be sociable, but I don't want to be sociable. I want to have both ways, basically. I want to socialize, but all right, I'm done, and leave. But if you're sociable, you got to socialize with them, then they want to socialize with you. They're like, oh, I don't care about you. I just wanted to do my thing and leave. But he wants genuinely real friends, even though he meant it up. It was obvious in the way he stated it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if he does want that, he's going to have to shift gears and change how he approaches life. Like I say, he's into crypto. There's tons of people into crypto. He could join one of those groups that are into crypto. And depending on where he lives, there may be a group that meets in person for crypto. You never know. So he could just look into that and make some friends. But anyway, back to the podcast. Because my goal was, once I hit 100, maybe upload audio files to Spotify, which I forgot. Which for some reason, when I was uploading, I thought it would upload as an audio file. I don't know why I thought that. But I'm going to go back, rip the audio files from all the videos, upload just the audio files, and probably have one post every day or something like that. So I have video and audio on Spotify, and I'll have the video on YouTube. And then I was going to see about other places to post my podcast and see what happens. And if it blows up, then I'll hop back on it. But my goal is to hit 100 once I'm done with 100 and do all that. I found it hard to try to do all that while doing the podcast and the other videos and working and trying to have a family and blacking out from pain in my leg. I'm not built to do all the above, especially right now in life. I'm just not. One of them would have to go. I joke with my family, it's like if time machine ever existed. But yeah, it's just, actually, if time machine never existed, I'd probably go back to after my son was born and change a lot of things. And stop myself from doing a lot of things and change up a few things here and there. But yeah, I think that's what I would do. Or go back to after my son was conceived, make sure he's doing all right, and change things. I could go back that far too. And change a few things. The stocks, I've definitely looked closer into stocks and invest heavier into stocks. Because I would know certain stocks to invest in. But yeah. Once the podcast is 100, I'm going to pause and shift gears. I've been wanting to learn Moho, and I still haven't done that. I have the program, had it for years, and still haven't learned it. So I need to just sit down and learn it and I can make videos about that. I mean, they won't be as exciting. I'll still do the other stuff, but I'll start learning Moho. I think I don't know what keeps me from learning Moho, to be honest with you. I can self-learn if I push myself. But sometimes it's like, So I'm going to have to work on that. See how that turns out. But speaking of self-learning, I've learned that my kids are not built the same as me. My daughter is not as good at self-learning as I am in any way, shape, or form. She tries to skip straight to the assignment without reading the assignment, basically, or going over the work. And she can't do that. I used to be able to do that. I could jump straight to the assignment, then go back and look through things real quick and then figure out how to do the assignment. That was a skill of mine. Still is a skill of mine. I can do that. She cannot. And I've told her, you have to read. And apparently there's videos and everything along with her assignment that she's just not watching. And I also point out, especially now, I use YouTube a lot. There's the answers out there. You just got to know how to look for it, how to search for it. And I've said this constantly. If I had the internet the way it exists now, back when I was a kid, oh my God, I would have graduated top of my class. I would have been a straight A student. I probably would have been getting in trouble. Probably would have had a bunch of baby mamas by now. I just would have been all over the place. There would have been no stopping me. But yeah, it all has to do with your ability to figure things out. And I'm good at figuring things out. But yeah. I just don't, when I see other people struggling figuring things out, I'll look at something like, well, that's the answer. What's the problem? But yeah, and then I'm also trying to teach my daughter to drive, and it's going okay, but we're so far behind because she won't drive. She won't set aside time to go drive. We need to go driving for like an hour, and she won't do it, and it's getting frustrating. She's like, I got to do this, I got to do that. She'll find hours to go hang out with her friends, but driving, and we've constantly told her, you're going to have to learn to ride the bus, and instead she'll try to get her grandma to take her places or her friend to take her places. Like, yeah, you're not being that person. And but yeah, she's purposely dragging her feet learning to drive. And I told her throughout all of high school, you need to learn to drive. Now it's coming back to bite her, and it's going to come into a place. It's going to come into play to the point where it's really going to bite her in the ass. But right now she's lucking out, but that luck is going to wear her out real quick. And like right now, she's supposed to be doing 2 hours of volunteer work and dragging her feet. It's pissing me and her mom off. It's like, it's only 2 hours. Just go do the 2 hours and be done with it. But God, is she dragging her feet? It's like, get it done now. So today, my wife's like, don't talk to her anymore. I was like, nope, I'm talking to her. Because this is ridiculous. She needs to get up. She needs to go do the volunteer work. And it's only 2 hours. In high school, I think it was like 30 hours total. And she drug her feet on that. And we had to make her do it over the summer. And she finally got it done. And she waited to her senior year to do it. She had from her, basically like her freshman year to her senior year to do it. And I told my son, no, as soon as you hit your freshman year, you're doing it. You're going to start doing it. You're not waiting till your senior year to cram it all in. So lucked out. She lucked out. It's like, was it 30 hours? No, or was it 10 hours? It was something like that. It was a lot of hours, but it was supposed to be stretched out over the 4 years. And she crammed it all in her senior year. But yeah. Yeah, my kids, they are not like me. I did discover my son visualizes math the same way I do, or did, I should say. Because I don't do math. I don't have a reason to really do math other than add and subtract and maybe some division. But yeah, I don't really have a reason to do math the way they do math right now. But yeah, I talked to my son about it. It turns out he visualizes the problem in his head and he can do it without the work. Me and my mom were talking about that. It's like, yeah, I hated writing down the steps to get to the answer because I just knew the answer. I could look at it, know the answer. And the hardest part was writing down the steps for it. It was just like, this sucks, but I'll do it. And there was a couple times I know I did it wrong, the steps, but I still got the answer. And, I got marks taken off for it. It's like, because sometimes I just didn't care and I just write something down. It's like, I know the answer. I can just see it and know the answer. I wasn't wrong on the answer. Teachers want to see, how did you get the answer? How did you get to, I don't know. I just know the answers. Leave me alone. And I understand they want you to use the correct formula and all that stuff. And I remember those math commercials where they used to talk about, where you'll use math. You'll need it in everyday life. No, you don't. Majority of us do not need most of the math we learned in school in everyday life. We don't. Unless you're a carpenter or a scientist, an engineer, or something along those lines, you don't need math in everyday life. The most you might need is add, subtract, division. So basically addition and multiplication. The rest can go suck an egg. But yeah, you don't need math in everyday life in the way that they were trying to make it seem like you needed it. You don't. You need the basic math, yes, but like geometry, algebra, and all that other stuff. And I don't use fractions hardly ever. I don't need to know fractions. And with today's technology, I just use my phone. Hey, what's this and this and this and this fraction or fraction? How do you write this fraction? There's so many different ways to get the answer now with technology. And in some cases, you can just take a picture of the math problem and the phone will tell you the answer and how to get to it. So, yeah. What's weird is a long time ago, they asked us to think of an invention that might exist in the future. And I came up with an idea for a pen where you write the pen will help you with your answers. Like you can write out the problem like a math problem and the pen would know what you're writing. It could tell you how to get the answer, how to do the problem and everything. Well, fast forward decades later, someone came up with that pen and it didn't do well because by the time the pen came out, the smartphone was around. So it was kind of useless. But at that time, I didn't know to think about the smartphone, but it's just like, And then hardtop convertible, it's not new, but the way I envisioned it folding, I had never seen a car fold that way. And then fast forward years later, I saw hardtop convertibles folding the way I was thinking. And it's just like, I really need to work on get my inventions down. But yeah, I know that was way off topic, but that had to do with the math and just, anyways. Math was easy for me. I could do math. I could memorize the formulas. I could memorize, especially scientific formulas for doing math and science. It was easy to me. All that stuff was easy. It just came naturally. But for my daughter, it does not come naturally. Math is not her strong suit. She can do a lot of other stuff with math. She just bangs her head against the wall. And it all started when she was a kid. Because I remember one time I asked her what 2 plus 2 is, and she said 4. I said, so what is 4 minus 2? And she froze. I said, okay, relax. I said, think about it. 2 plus 2 is what? 4. So what is 4 minus 2? And she was freeze. I said, it's okay. Okay. We take a break. Try again. And it got to the point where she, I think like the third or fourth time I asked her, and it wasn't like in a session. It wasn't like rapid fire at her. I'd take a little break. And then I would ask her again, and she just started crying. I don't know. I was like, it's okay. I said, the answer's 2. And she's like, and it's like, at that time she was a kid. But yeah, it was like, it was at that moment I realized, oh, she can't comprehend. My daughter does not have comprehension skills. My son is a little better, but really he doesn't have them either. And originally I thought it was my kids. Like, what did I do to screw them up? But I've noticed it's the entire generation. And I hate to be that guy, but it is Gen Z. And I think I've actually talked about this before. It's not their fault. When I went to school, we were actually taught comprehension skills. And I think around the millennials, they stopped teaching it. They don't teach that anymore. They don't teach you how to comprehend things. how to use context clues. They don't teach it anymore. And as a result, there's a lot of kids that have trouble figuring things out. And this is why they have trouble figuring things out. They weren't taught it. I got taught that in school. And they're just not teaching it anymore, which is sad. But anyways, in other words, my kids are smart but stupid at the same time. Well, speaking of putting my business out there, I don't understand people who put all their business on the internet. I was watching something where people will talk about prayers for this, my something just passed away, and people are like, oh, what happened? And they get mad when you ask what happened. And it's like, you put all your business out there. Why is this off topic? You put how you had a miscarriage. You put how your girl cheated on you. You put how the baby's not yours. You put all this out there. But I asked this one question, and suddenly you have a problem with people invading your privacy. You post everything. You post how you had sex with 16 girls. You posted how you just had a orgy with 100 men. But yet, if I ask how someone died, that's a problem. They're like, get out of here with that crap. And I mean, people will post that. People will post the murders they committed. People post crimes they committed and post their cheating, post their sex life, post everything. But God forbid you ask about how someone died and suddenly it's the end of the world. And I see that a lot. It's like if you ask about in some cases you ask about any situation that they're posting, it's like you'll see someone post half of a story. You're like, what happened? And they're mad. It's like, I told you you told me half the story. Clearly there's more to it. You didn't just happen to be there. You know, you didn't just happen upon the scene. You were there. What was going on? You gave us half the story. And people get mad. It's like, you can't give half the story and then get mad at people who want the whole story. You shouldn't put anything out there if you didn't want people to be nosy. You did want people to be nosy, but you wanted to be nosy on your terms. And they're not being nosy on your terms, and that's pissing you off. So it's like, get over it. You know, if you didn't want us to know what was going on, you should have just kept quiet. But I will like it when people start digging and find out the whole story and makes that person who posts it look like a fool. I love that. It's like, you shouldn't have posted. You shouldn't have posted about it. It's that simple. You chose to post about it, and now you look like a fool because the whole story's out, and you try to play the victim. It turns out you were not the victim. You were the villain. So be careful what you post about, because unless you want the whole story getting out, there are people who will investigate and get to the truth, and then you'll look like the fool. But yeah, I don't get putting all your business out there. I love when people make fun of those people who post, you know, like something tragic happens and they got B-roll and all this stuff. It's like, you set the camera up, recorded yourself, you got extra footage to add to the video to make it more dramatic. Except, if this was really a serious situation, you wouldn't have done all that. In fact, in most cases, you're not posting about it right away. You might wait a couple days, unfortunately, or wait a couple weeks and then post about it. And then talk about it, you know. But when you add, you know, those walking away shots or those far away shots talking about something sad that happened to you, you don't give a damn about that situation at all. You saw an opportunity to get likes and clicks and decided to go for it. Yeah. And hey, if you're a cold-hearted person, you're a cold-hearted person. Just live up to it. You know, stop pretending like you actually care. That's my thing. Just stop pretending. Because you don't. You didn't care about the person. Oh, my mom died. And then you do all this stuff. It's like, what was all that other stuff? If you wanted to talk about your mom, you should just sat there and talked about your mom. But you didn't. But, yeah. For example, when my dad passed away, I didn't immediately hop on here and just start bawling and talking about, hey, my dad passed away, feel sorry for me. I was honest. Me and my dad did not have the best relationship when I became an adult. We were on okay terms at the end, but we weren't father and son anymore. It got to the point where I just looked upon it as my father has passed away already. So when he actually passed away, I was okay with it. The only time I got upset is when I had to go through his mail, and his stuff, and I found letters where he was talking to some guy who was in prison, and it was like, he was referring to that guy as his son, and they would call each other. I was like, mother effer, you had a effing son. Like, you treated me like crap when I became an adult. It's like, go after yourself. And that pissed me off. It made me so mad. And it's just like, oh. Yeah, it's like you chose to turn your back on me, and then you go find a son who's in prison and pretty much talk to him on a regular. It's like, this, yeah, so I was correcting my assumption that, my father died a long time ago. But I didn't shoot like B reels or B roll or anything like that and use it. I just talked about it in passing, pretty much like I'm doing now, and moved on. Because, like I said, we didn't have the best relationship when I became an adult, which still bothers me. There was nothing to fix, unfortunately. The damage was done, and there was no undoing the damage, which is the sad part. I know a lot of people, but you could have. Like, I tried. I really did actually try. And it didn't work. It fell apart. And it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. People try, and I know lots of people who have tried to fix things with their parents, and it just didn't work. Because, growing up, you have these memories of your parents, and for a lot of us, they were good memories. But then we became adults, and it's just like, what the hell? What's wrong with you? Why are you treating me so differently? My mom didn't treat me any different. She treated me like her baby. But for whatever reason, and what's funny is, there was another guy who my dad used to hang around. His oldest son doesn't talk to him either. His son stopped talking to him for pretty much the same reason. Like, we became adults and they became assholes. So it's like, and that's when I was like, it's that generation. But back to people setting up the camera, doing the makeup, lighting, all that stuff to make sure it looks good. It's like, what is wrong with you? You talk about someone dies, something's happened, and your first instinct is to shoot a video. That wasn't my first instinct. I think I was actually shooting the video, and then I just talked about it. It just came to light. Like, I think I was talking about something else, and I brought it up. It's just like, that wasn't a priority for me. And it was more of it fit the conversation. If you want to share the fact that someone's passed away close to you, okay, I understand that. But at what point do you realize you're exploiting their death to make money? You have to be honest about it. And a lot of people can't be honest about it, which is sad. I have more respect for people who are honest about it. Do I think I can make money off my dad passing? No. If I could, would I though? I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure on that one. Because on the one hand, I feel like he owes me, so that'd be one way he could help me, pay me back. Because of the shitty adult life he and I had together. So I couldn't say no, I wouldn't exploit him if I had the opportunity. But I can't think of any way that he could be of use to me in that way. But also, it's just weird to me the way people do that stuff. It's like, in some cases, you can tell the tears are fake. Like, they've definitely put like drops in their eyes or something to make themselves cry. And especially if there's an edit, like if there's a sudden pause and suddenly you see the tears start coming down. It's like, wait a minute, you paused and probably put drops in your eyes so you could cry. But yeah, that's just weird to me. If you're going to put your business out there, fine. But don't get mad when people start asking questions. You put it out there, so people are going to ask questions. So get over it. But moving right along, weight loss. My weight loss journey is all over the place right now because I had some medical issues. I discovered my adrenal glands are messed up. I'm on some medication. Well, apparently I've been on the medication, but I wasn't taking the right dose. But since the dose has been upped, it works better. My blood pressure is now, well, my top number in my blood pressure used to be the one that was always high. It was always really high. It was like 140, 150, 160, it was up there. But now it's in the 120s, 130s, and sometimes 140s. But the lower number I'm worried about because it keeps going up. And I don't know why it's going up the way it is. I need to figure out what all I need to do. I mean, I know I need to lose weight, first off. But that lower number has me worried. Because I know when my blood pressure's up, that's actually when my nose starts to bleed. So the two are related. I don't care what doctors say. The two are related. Like I had a nurse practitioner who dismissed it, but the two are related. When my blood pressure's up, my nose bleeds more. It's like the pressure just gets built up to where it's got to release, and the way it releases is through my nose. It's like it's releasing the excess blood in my body, if you will. I know that's not accurate, but that's what it feels like, is releasing the pressure and it coming through my nose. So obviously I have a weak point in my sinuses to where it pushes through, which is not necessarily a good thing, because could that be also the precursor to an aneurysm? I need to look that up. I don't want to just be doing something and then, you know? Oh my God. So I need to look that up and see if that's a thing. But, yeah, I've been having a lot of bloody noses lately, and it's not a good thing. But as for my weight loss, I've been using this weight loss app, and, well, I shouldn't lie, I haven't really been using it lately. So much stuff going on. Me being tired. But they have like a coach on there, and I hate communicating with the coach. It's like, can I turn the coach feature off? But it's part of the whole program. And the coach wants to talk to you on the phone. It's like, every time they want to talk to me, I'm working. I work a full-time job. I don't have the luxury of just talking to you on the phone. And I don't want to talk to you on the phone. And they already asked me about chatting and email, so I said chat would be the best way to go. I can squeeze that in, you know, that's easy. But actually sitting on the phone where I have to type the phone, there's not an option. So, yeah. It's like that went over their head. But, that well. But my weight did shoot up to like 373. I think I said that before. I got up to 373. It fell back down to 368 and then went up to 370. So I just got to be more mindful of how I eat and what I eat and get it back down. And I'm going to start trying to go to the gym again on Monday. And I'm going to try to do my full body workout, but I'm going to drop the weight on everything. I was going to try to lift the same I was lifting before, but I think I'm just going to do like 70 pounds or see. I know I can do more than 50. So I might do 25, and then 2 10s. Would that work? Maybe I'll try 100. I'll shave 20 pounds off, because I was doing 120. So I'll just take 20 pounds off and see how that feels. If it feels like I can't handle it, then I'll go lower. But yeah, it feels like the weight is coming off easier since my medication's been worked out. I've been trying not to push myself too much, but I need to get back out there and be more active and start doing stuff again. Yeah, that day I went to the ER did shake me up, did scare me. My wife is terrified for me to do anything too extraneous, which I can't blame her. But I got to get back out there. I got to start moving again. But I guess I'll end it with Jane Goodall passed away. And what's funny about that to me is I just saw a commercial with her in it, promoting her diamonds, her jewelry collection, and then when I saw the commercial, I was like, I thought she was already dead, and not because I got her always when I was younger, I always got her confused with the other girl lady who was murdered, and I always got those two confused. Because for a while I didn't realize. I'll be honest, when I was younger, I didn't realize there was two different people. I thought it was the same person. They're like, oh, okay, there's two different people, and I was still getting confused. But then as I got older, I realized, oh, Jane Goodall is the one that's still alive. But then, for some reason, when I saw that commercial, I was like, I thought she was already dead. I thought she died of old age a long time ago. And then the next day, she was dead. So my daughter said I jinxed her. Sorry? But yeah, just like, Jane Goodall's dead. I'm like, oh, wait, I thought she was already dead. No, she just died. It's like, oh my God. Like, when did she die? It's like, I thought she died years ago. I was like, nope, she just died. But yeah. All right, anyway, I went in here. If you are an adult child and you don't get along with your parents and you tried, don't hold it over your head. It may be one of the situations where you will have to just let it go. If you're a parent of adult kids and you don't understand why your kids don't talk to you, look in the mirror. All right, everyone, take care. Wait, I forgot how to do my closing. I've been doing this lately. As you can tell, this is why my wife was worried about me doing anything too streamers. My brain is not 100%. It's been 2 weeks now. It was back on the 14th. I went to the ER, and I'm still not 100%. I might be at like 70, 80%, but I got to do something to get moving. I get my brain reactivated somehow. But anyways, don't forget to like, subscribe, and everyone take care. Later.